Today's lesson is going to cover everything you need to know about how to write an informal letter, starting from the address to the complimentary clause. So please make sure you watch this video to the end. Make sure you share it and keep tabs to this channel by clicking on the subscribe button if you've not subscribed already. Okay, you're going to learn everything concerning informal letters, and you're going to learn the standard way of writing an informal letter in WASSCE, NECO, and GCE. Okay, please make sure you watch the video to the end. Make sure you watch it to the end. You don't need to miss any part of what I'm going to be teaching you today. Okay, now without wasting time, let's dive in. We're going to start with the address. The address has to be at the right hand side of the page. The right hand side of the page. Okay, that's where the address should be, and the right hand side of the page. And in the informal letter, you have just one address. I believe you already know that. You have just one address, and the address is the writer's address. Okay, the address is the writer's address. So in a formal letter, you expect to write your address in 2 or 3 lines. Okay, 2 or 3 lines. Your address needs to be concise. It needs to be straightforward and concise. There's no need for PO box, PMB. Please scrap all of those. Don't include them in your letter while writing an informal letter for WASSCE, NECO, or GCE. Okay, you don't need to include PO box and PMB. All you just need to do is to write some home address. Okay, now let's say, for example, if my home address, let's say if the number of my house is number 8, okay, it starts with 8. If that's the number of my house, if the number of my street is let's say David is the number of my street. Now David Street. Okay, after every line of the address, please mark off with a comma. Mark off with a comma. I know that we have open and close punctuation patterns, but for the sake of your exams, please mark off with a comma because that is what is preferred in WASSCE. Now on the next line, you write the town's name or the city's name. Okay, now let's say David Street is in, let's say Ikeja. Ikeja is the town's name. Ikeja, okay? Ikeja. Then where is Ikeja? Where is Ikeja? Let's say Ikeja is in Lagos, okay? So then Ikeja, Lagos. Ikeja, Lagos. If you are asked to write a letter to your uncle that is living abroad, okay, so you have to include Nigeria, but otherwise you have to stop at Lagos. Put a full stop here. Now after Lagos, if the letter is to be written to someone who is living abroad, okay, so you have to put a comma here, then Nigeria, full stop. Okay, but you add full stop here, you have to put a full stop here if the letter is not going outside Nigeria. But if it's going outside Nigeria, you come down and write Nigeria and make sure you end with a full stop. Now notice that at the letter, the lines of the address starts on a straight vertical line. Okay, it starts on a straight vertical line. We call it the block format. So that is what is required in your exam. Use the block format. And also notice that each letter of the address starts with a capital letter. Do not include your name, your phone number, and any other thing aside from these things you see here in the address. Okay, so this is the address. Now after the address, what do you have next? Date. Okay, the date is what you have next. Now the date has to come right under the address. Right under the address. Do not skip any line. Right under the address. Okay, so let's say today is 10th May. So please use nominal numbers while writing your date. That is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 10th, 20th. Use nominal numbers. 10th May. 10th May. Notice that May starts with a capital letter. May starts with a capital letter. And another thing, please, if the month is January, don't write this. Don't write Jan or Feb. Okay? Don't abbreviate. Don't abbreviate the name of the month. Write the name of the month in full. Okay? 10th May, comma, mark it up with the comma. 10th May 2025. Full stop. Okay, so that is your address and the date. Now the next thing is the salutation. Now after the date, next thing is the salutation. Okay, the salutation has to be on the left hand corner of the page. Left hand corner of the page. Now your salutation should be there plus the first name of the person. You're talking about informal letter. Then you already know what an informal letter is. letter you write to someone that you know, someone close to you. It's called a friendly letter. A letter you write to your acquaintance, your dad, your mom, your siblings, your friends, people you know. Okay. So when you want to write the salutation after the date, please, this is where you're gonna skip a line. Okay, this is where you're gonna skip a line. Okay, this is the line of your page. So you're gonna skip one line. You're gonna skip this line. Then you write there, here, there, there. Don't leave space. Okay, your there should start right after the margin. Okay, there the person's first name. There the person's first name. What's the person's first name? Not the person's name and the surname. If you're asked to write to your friend, you shouldn't write your friend's first name and his or her surname. Your friend's first name, that's it, or your friend's nickname. Okay, let's say your friend's name is, let's say, John. Okay, you simply write dear John, dear John. Then very important, comma. Very important. Okay, make sure you mark off your salutation with a comma. Do not forget. If you forget to mark off your salutation with a comma, you're going to lose some marks. Now, after the salutation, now notice again that there starts the capital letter and John starts the capital letter. Okay, I hope you're taking note of all of these things. Now after the salutation, what you have next is the body of the letter. Okay, body of the letter is where you have to discuss what you are asked to write on. Okay, so you have to first think about the topic you want to write on. Okay, so let's start with the first paragraph. Now the first paragraph, then we have first paragraph, second, third. Now in WASSCE, you expect to write your letter in just 5 paragraphs. Okay, make sure you write a letter. Make sure you write a letter in 5 paragraphs. The introductory paragraph, that's number 1, 2, 3, and number 2, number 3, and number 4. And that's the 4th paragraph. Those are the paragraphs we use in discussing the topic of the letter. Now, the last paragraph is where you conclude or summarize. Okay, so 5 paragraphs are okay for your informal letter, and that is what is expected in WASSCE. So, now let's see how to write the first paragraph of the letter. Now, the first paragraph is meant to prove that you actually know the person you are writing to. Okay, the examiner expects you to prove that you are familiar with the person you are writing to. Okay, you are expected to show that you are familiar with the person you are writing to. And one thing you should avoid, please avoid starting your paragraph, your first paragraph with "How are you? I hope you are fine." Please do not do that. You are expected to be more creative in the first paragraph of the letter. Okay, you have to be creative. You have to show that you are familiar with the person you are writing to. Okay, now there are ways you can achieve this. You can achieve this by pretending you received a letter from the person before the time you are writing. Okay, you can say something like, I was so excited to have some examples that I wrote down. Okay, so let me just read them to you. I was excited to read from your last letter that your school took the first position in the competition. Okay, now let's say we are being asked to write to a friend. We're being asked to write to a friend in another school, telling him or her about the competition that our school participated in. Okay, now you can start by pretending that you already received a letter from your friend concerning the competition of his or her own school. So you can write something like what I just read. I was excited to read from your last letter that your school took the first position in the competition. Good for you. Okay? With this, you have proven that you are familiar with the person you are writing to. Now, the next thing is to greet and wish the person well. Okay, I hope you are fine. I hope you are doing great. The reason I'm writing this letter to you is to tell you about this exciting competition that my school participated in. Okay, now you start with responding to previous letter. Now you greeted the person and wish the person well. Next thing is to introduce the purpose of the letter. I hope you are following. So that is how you can write your first paragraph. Another way you can write your first paragraph without pretending you already received a letter from the person. You can say something like, it's been such a long time since I heard from you. I miss our endless chats. I hope you are doing great. My purpose of writing this letter is to tell you about the exciting competition my school took part in. Okay, so this is another way you can write the first paragraph of the letter. It's been such a long time since I heard from you. You've created familiarity, you have proven that you're familiar with the person. I've missed our endless chat. Okay, still the same. I hope you are doing great. You've wished the person well. Okay, my purpose of writing this letter, now you have introduced the topic of the letter. The purpose of writing this letter is to tell you about the certain competition that my school took part in. Okay, so that is a good introductory paragraph, the first paragraph, which is called the introductory paragraph. Now, after you've done this, the next thing is to go to the second paragraph. Okay, now this is where the work is. First, you have to understand the topic of the letter. You have to fully understand the topic of the letter, and you have to brainstorm on some of the points you want to discuss regarding the topic of the letter. Okay, now we are writing, for example, we are talking about competition. We are writing to our friend in another school, telling him or her about the competition that our school participated in, right? That's what we're discussing in this video. Now, there are certain things you can talk about. You can talk about how your school prepared for the competition, what happened during the competition, and the result of the competition. These are the things you can talk about. Okay, now you have to arrange. You have to arrange these events. Now you can start with how you prepared for the competition. Now, while writing the body of the letter from the second paragraph, there's something we call the topic sentence. Topic sentence. Now, topic sentence is what tells the reader what to expect in the paragraph. Each paragraph should discuss one point. Okay, you don't model up points. Okay, you don't model up points, different points in one paragraph. Each paragraph should discuss one point. Okay, one aspect of the competition you want to talk about should be contained in one paragraph. Okay, I want you guys to know that in your letter, in your informal letter, you're expected to write in 5 paragraphs. You're expected to write in 5 paragraphs. The introductory paragraph 1, then use 3 paragraphs to discuss the topic. Now the last paragraph is where you extend regards, the closing paragraph, the last paragraph, the concluding paragraph, you extend regards and bring in external things you want to talk about. Now after the first paragraph, now let's go to the second paragraph. Now to go to the second paragraph and start discussing the topic of the letter. Now, first thing you have to know is about using linkers or linker words. Linkers are words like however, in as much as, furthermore, consequently, therefore, hence, similarly, regrettably. Now, all these are linkers. They are words that can link the previous paragraph to the current paragraph. Make sure you use linkers to connect the paragraphs, okay, to make sure you have a smooth flow, to give your reader, to give the examiner a smooth flow while reading your letter. Okay, so use linkers and also use what we call topic sentence. Now, a topic sentence is the sentence that tells the examiner what to expect in the rest of the paragraph. So each paragraph should be started with a topic sentence. It should be started with a linker, which will be in the topic sentence. Okay, now let's take for example, you can start a second paragraph this way. It was a very important competition, so my school prepared so hard for it. Okay, so this could be your topic sentence. Okay, now use the pronoun it, because the it refers back to the topic already introduced in the first paragraph. Okay, so it was a very important competition. My school had to prepare hard for it. Now your examiner expects to read how your school prepared hard for it in that paragraph. Okay, so you could say something like, it is very important competition, so my school had to prepare hard for it. Okay, you can also say it was the biggest and most intensive quiz competition ever. It was the annual inter-school debate organized by the state government. Our school wanted to take the first position so badly that the principal had to employ an extra hand to help prepare the school's debaters for the competition. Our debaters were thoroughly drilled and we are fully prepared to grab the first position. Sunday was among the debaters. In our third paragraph, we can have something like similarly. Okay, now I'm going to talk about something similar to what I discussed in the previous paragraph. So similarly, other schools came prepared. Other schools came prepared. Can you read from what I have here? Similarly, other schools came well prepared. It seemed everyone coveted for the top spot. Every school had great debaters. Sunday was the chief speaker for our school. You know how eloquent and passionate he is about becoming a doctor. You spoke so well about how doctors are more important than teachers that the audience had to be asked to stop clapping by the moderator. Tunde and the other debaters gave them a run for their money. It was an excellent performance from our school. Okay, so this could serve as your third paragraph. Okay, this could serve as a third paragraph. Discuss how the event went. Now, the next paragraph is where you talk about the last point. You have to develop your point. You have to make 3 points. Make 3 points. In every topic you are being given to write, any topic you want to write on, make 3 points. You write your essay in 5 paragraphs. Whether you are writing informal letter, formal letter, any essay you are writing at all in WASSCE exam, write in 5 paragraphs. So use 3 paragraphs to talk about the topic. So we've talked about how to prepare for it, how the event went. Now we're going to talk about the aftermath of the event. Okay, we're going to talk about the aftermath of the event. Now, the last paragraph, we have to start with a topic sentence and a linker, right? So we can start with, okay, I want to say that our school did not take the first position that we actually wanted to take. So I can use the linker we created, okay, to say that my school did not take the first position that we desired to take. So I can say, regrettably, my school lost out. Regrettably, my school lost out. So if I want to say that as my school took the, if I want to say that my school took the first position, I can say fortunately, my school took the first position. So I want to say that my school did not take the first position. So I will say, regrettably, my school lost out. Okay, you can say, regrettably, our school narrowly missed the coveted first position. Chike's school. Okay, now I've mentioned Chike, somebody else's name. I've written somebody else's name still to buttress the fact that I am familiar with the person that I'm writing to. Okay, Chike's school, Real Life Academy won us by just half a mark and took the first position. I'm so glad we did great in the competition. We came second and won a shiny silver trophy and a cash reward of 5 million naira. I wish you were there. Okay, so this can serve as a fourth paragraph. Your fifth paragraph is where you bring in any extraneous information, where you send regards, where you end the lecture. Okay, so you can say, anyway, that's all for now. Extend my regards to your new friends that you mentioned in your letter. Also, I'd like to hear more about your new school. I look forward to reading your letter soon. Okay, so this is how you can write the last paragraph of your informal letter. Make sure in your informal letter you have to, emphasize your familiarity with the person by bringing extraneous information, extending regards to the person. Then you end the letter. So that's how to write the body of an informal letter. Now the last thing you have to write is the complimentary closing. Okay, the complimentary close. You have to write it at the right hand side of the page. Okay, make sure you write at the right hand side of the page. This is, we are using, once we use the indented format, there's another format called the block format. But for the sake of WASSCE exam, informal letter and WASSCE exam, use indented format, where you have to give a little space before you start your paragraph. Okay, like 5-letter space before you start your paragraph. Okay, you give another space before you start another paragraph. Another space before you start another paragraph. Okay, then another space before you start another paragraph. This is the letter format which is required in WASSCE exam. Then we're talking about the complementary close, the complementary ending. Okay, the complementary ending. So you're going to write yours sincerely after the last line of the body of the letter. Okay, you write yours sincerely. Please make sure you skip a line. If this is where your letter ends, the body of the letter ends, if this is the last line of the body of the letter, make sure you skip one line. Skip just one line. Skip one line. Skip one line before you write the complimentary close. Okay, yours sincerely. Yours sincerely. Yours sincerely, comma. Yours sincerely, comma. Now notice that yours starts with capital letter Y. No other letter starts with a capital letter, okay? Yours starts with capital letter Y. Please, there's no apostrophe anywhere. There's no apostrophe. This is a possessive pronoun. So yours sincerely. Make sure you mark off with a comma. Make sure you mark off with a comma. Then next thing to do is to write your name, your first name or your nickname, okay? So you can write yours sincerely, Dimma. Yours sincerely, Dimma. Okay? Yours sincerely, Dimma. So that is it about how to write an informal letter. Hope you understood the lesson and you enjoyed it. So that'll be all. Thank you very much for watching.